Today I'm going to show you how you can take more control over your Midjourney aesthetic and completely personalize your image results. We're going to do it with three tools: the Personalize tool, the Style Creator, and Moodboards. So we're going to log in and start off with the Personalize tool. The way it works is we come down here to Personalize, where we get a screen that looks just like this. Now if I scroll down, you'll see here I have my global profile under V7 and V8 profiles. And there's also profiles for other models here like V6, and G7, but essentially you should see this here, and if it's not available to you yet, you may have to continue ranking to unlock it. You can simply click and you'll be presented these images. Now you get some instructions across the top here, but they have updated this in recent months. But essentially go through and pick the images that you like. So if I scroll down, if I really like this image, I click on it. If I like this image, I click on it. And I go through and just click on the images with the aesthetic that I like. And Midjourney will essentially rank those images against my profile and try to customize my profile so that it matches what I've selected. And this tool is a bit more of a taste-based kind of like personalization, where we're going to try and pick an aesthetic we like, and Midjourney is going to try and adapt it to our taste. And notice up here, it says here progress 88%. I keep going and selecting more of these images. It says here personalization profile unlocked, now available in the profiles section. So I can start creating or continue personalizing. I'm going to go to start creating, because now if I wanted to type in a prompt, I can say a dog at the beach. Over on the right over here, you'll notice the little P symbol. If I click the little arrow, it says global V7 V8 profile has been activated. And if I want to, I can turn it off. So if I submit this as it is, I get these images here and they are not personalized. But coming up to the personalize button here, if I click on that, it will turn it on. And if I want to confirm I have the right profile selected, I hit the little arrow, global V7 V8 profile has been activated. I can choose any of these other profiles or mood boards. But now, if I click on this button to actually use the exact same prompt, I can submit. And we get something similar, but the aesthetic is slightly different on some of these images because I'm using my global profile here. And I've produced some more images using the exact same seed, which means if I use the same prompt, I should get the same results. But the bottom row is without my personalization, and the top row is with my personalization. You can see that the framing and the detail is much different on the top row with my profile. Same with this Van Gogh painting of an iPhone. What we get on the top is far more vibrant than what we get by default on the bottom, which relies heavily on Van Gogh's Starry Night. Even this Hanya mask face sort of tattoo is far more detailed and rough around the edges on my global profile at the top. And with the prompt anxiety, I get a much more sort of rougher drawing style across the top that is more consistent than the bottom row that doesn't use my profile. So you can see how personalization does have an impact on how these images turn out. Now there's more than one way to use personalization, and you can actually create separate profiles so you can go through and have multiple profiles to use when creating your images. So coming back down to personalize, for one, I don't have to just use my V7 and V8 profile. If I use version 6 a lot or even Niji, I can create profiles in the exact same way. So essentially what I need to do if I want to add another profile is I can come over here to where it says new profile and it'll add one there. Now what I can do is actually click on the three dots and rename it to something like second personalization. And then I simply click and you'll notice the instructions are gone, but it's essentially the same process. My progress is sitting at 0, but instead of just picking things that I like, maybe I want to go for this really noisy appearance on these images. So if I click on this one and keep scrolling and picking on the noisier, more detailed images, or anything that has a lot going on, I can really kind of tailor my aesthetic to match the exact style of image that I'm trying to find in the selection. This is a great way if you have a particular look or style that you want to sort of chase more of, you can actually just click on those styles of images and get a bit more of a unique and more refined personalization profile. But I'm going to just cut ahead because I don't believe you need to see me select every single image, but I just simply keep going until this personalization profile is unlocked. However, I don't have to stop there. If I want to continue to really refine, I can hit continue personalizing and look for more images that match what I'm after. Now, once I feel like I've selected enough, I head up the top, go to back. And one thing I want to point out is this button right here. If I click that, it turns my personalization on. So this big button here essentially does the same thing as this top button. But if I come down, you see my second personalization here is ready to go. But I haven't got it selected. I can either click select here, or I can go up to my drop down and choose it from down there. Now you may notice I've got both my global profile and my second personalization. So I'm going to turn this one off so I can use just this profile. And then in order to test that out, I'm going to come over to create. And I'm going to come down to this image here where we have anxiety, the same seed. I'm going to use that prompt, but this time with my second personalization profile, because we've really honed down on that kind of busy, noisy, kind of speckly style of image. And I'm going to hit enter so we can compare. And notice how we get something much noisier, grittier, and dirtier in style. Even this one here still has the binder down the left, but the style is a lot more sort of honed in on the type of images that we selected. And side by side, you can see a massive difference. On the right, that personalization has made things so much noisier, messier, and even with this one, a little bit more kind of horror-filled or darker, especially with the woman's face. It adds something to it that really just creates a sense of unease. So this is one way you can tailor your personalizations and make them more unique. But don't forget, if we use this exact same prompt, including the profile and the seed, if I come to my drop-down, I can actually crank up my personalization by bringing that stylization up. So the higher I bring that up, the more my personalization applies. So if I bring that all the way up to 1000, which is at full, and submit that, it's actually applied our profile a little bit deeper to those images. Now, the next tool has also been updated. It is called the Style Creator. And the way that works is we come down again under Aesthetics, down to Style Creator. And you'll be taken to a screen like this, and you can actually jump off from previous styles you've created. But if you're watching this video, you may not have actually created one. You can also try a recent prompt to see what results you can get. So if I want to try, say, a woman's face, I could either click there, but maybe I'll just come up here and type in a portrait of a man, and I can adjust some settings if I want to, but I'm going to leave this pretty much standard and hit start. And similar to before, we can go through and choose several images, but we want to make sure we nail down that style. So let's say we want to go for something very vibrant this time around. As I click on this image, I scroll down. This one's also a bit colorful. I keep going, picking on the more colorful images that I think are going to match what I'm after. And you'll notice down the right over here, some images are being generated as we go, showcasing the progress of the style as we build it. Starting from here, moving down, it will continue to go down until we reach the ideal minimum. And that's when we should have an ideal style that we can use. But essentially, I keep going, clicking on more images, trying to match up that style, and we still sit evolving over here on the right, but also we can scroll to refine. So if I come here, I can actually peel it back and continue from here, continue selecting different images if I want to. But I'm going to come back to our most recent, scroll down, and continue from there, clicking images that I think have a great, vibrant color to them to try and build our style. And again, we've got a few different styles here, including our ideal minimum where we've landed here. So when I'm ready, how exactly do I start to use this style? Well, I come up the top, and for one, I can reset my session. I can even enable hotkeys, so I can sort of click on this and it'll tell me keys I can hit, like 1, 2, or 3 on my keyboard to select images. But essentially, I'm going to come up to end session. And this is where it gets a little confusing for most people, is that there's nothing really here. We come over here to create though, and those styles we generated are in images here. So we can find where the sweet spot is in our style. And I think that this one here is my favorite. So essentially I get this style code here. So now if I come up the top and type in a prompt, such as a samurai warrior ready for battle, I can come back down, click on this style, and it will apply that style code to my prompt. So now when I submit, we're now able to use that style. But don't forget, when we're talking about style codes, the other option is that we can use the same prompt again, although stylization's at 1000. Let's bring that down. Let's actually try this out with the default stylization setting and submit again. And we still get a pretty good result, but we can still mix codes. So I use this prompt again. We have our single style code here. I can also come down and add this one in by clicking on it. And I can stack these style codes at the top here. And I can also score which ones I want to use more of. So if I really want to lean more on the first one, I can go : 2. So the default weight is 1. By adding this on here, I can actually double the strength of this code. So I come over, hit submit, and I've been able to blend those two codes together, all using styles I built using the Style Creator. Now, if you want some truly unique styles, don't forget to check out my mood board pack. Over 100 mood boards you can add to your images. But also, check out my Midjourney style pack. Over 1,000 styles you can apply to your Midjourney prompts to get some pretty stunning images. Links to both are in the description below. But my final tool offers the most control, and that is mood boards. Again, under aesthetics, we come down here to mood boards. And that brings us to the mood board section. You notice I've got a fair few mood boards here. But what we want to do to create a new mood board is come down here where it says new mood board. And this is where we add the images for our mood board. And there's a few different ways we can do this. We can upload images, we can generate images, or I'll show you another trick to take more control over style codes by using mood boards. So I'm going to start by uploading some images in a style that I want to replicate. I'm going to start off by giving it a name. I'm going to call this mood board Dali-esque because what I'm going to do is take these images here that are paintings by Salvador Dali, and all I'm simply going to do is highlight them all and drag them in and have them upload. Now, some images may get moderated, so you just simply have to bin those. But I have a small selection of images here that I can use that are in the style of Salvador Dali. And essentially, I can start using this mood board. All I need to do, come up and hit Use in Prompt. Or if I ever want to, I can come to my Personalize menu here and find it. Now, I've got a lot down here, but you can simply scroll through and find that. But I type in a prompt something like a samurai ready for battle, same as before, using our Dali-esque mood board. I submit, go to create, and you can see how it's created some very different looking images by relying on our mood board. Now, as before, I can come up, bring the stylization up to full, hit use, and try it again, and it has cranked that style up to the maximum. Before we continue, I'm going to reset that, because another thing we can do is essentially add our generations into a mood board. Now, another thing I want to touch on, it has to do with style codes and mood boards. I had someone comment recently saying that some of their old style codes didn't work with the new version 8.1 model. Take this image as an example. If you come up here, you'll notice I've used version 6 and this sref code. So if I come down here to use this prompt, I should get the same result or a similar color, but I'm going to get rid of V6 and make sure we're using version 8.1. And if I submit that, what we actually get is in black and white, but it doesn't match the style of the style code that we used. And you can see what I mean. If I come back and use this again, and I do add in --V6 and submit again, you can see it's a much different look to this one down here. So what we can do is essentially create a mood board with those old style codes, and then we can generate from that mood board using version 8.1 to take advantage of the old codes and the old styles, but with the new model. And I'll show you how it works. So we really want this style here, but we want to generate using version 8.1 because maybe it just handles certain elements a bit better. What we can do is we have this cat for one, is I can come down again to use that prompt. Keeping in mind, we want to make sure we have V6 in the prompt and the sref code. And what I'm going to do is use something called permutations, where I type in a curly bracket, and then I type in a number of prompts separated by commas. So say something like a man's face, comma, a dog on the beach, comma, a scene in nature, comma, and then I add a few more. And then at the end of that, I add another curly bracket. So everything in between these two curly brackets will be switched out and separated by comma. So we'll have a man's face, and then these codes, and then another prompt, a dog on the beach, and these codes here, and it will separate and produce a prompt for each comma separated item. So now, if I submit that, it will produce a whole bunch of images. And now we have a whole bunch of different images with different sort of objects in them, like nature, the city, we have people, cars, all there to represent that style. And because we use version 6 and that sref code, we've been able to generate these images in the same style as what we wanted with that code. Now, in order to use this style version 8, I come over to Moodboards. I click on New Mood Board. I give it a name, light and calm, or whatever you think is going to describe it the best. And this time, instead of uploading our images or even adding them from a link, so if you click on that, you can add in a link to type in the link for your image. I'm going to go to Add from Creations. And then we have all of our images here to choose from. Now, you notice there's a whole bunch of different images in here. And I can actually create mood boards out of pretty much all of these if I want to. But what I want to do is only get the V6 images that match our style. And if I want to, I can come up to Filters, come down and choose version 6. And now I can only see my version 6 images. So now I click the plus symbol to select all of these. I can even come down and choose these if I want to, that we looked at originally. And then I just come up top to Done, and they've all been uploaded in our mood board. So now I choose our same prompt as before, the samurai, ready for battle. I come over to my light and calm and click Use in Prompt. Now we have our V6 style code plugged into this mood board. And I come down here to make sure I'm using version 8.1, and I'm going to change to 16 to 9. just to make sure it's the same aspect ratio as this video. Hit submit, and you notice how the color and style are very much the same as what we got with V6. There might be some slight differences, but overall, it's pretty close. But again, we can still go to use, crank up that stylize, and try again. And this has got it even closer than the last lot of images. Keep in mind, anytime you want to use one of these mood boards, you can come back to your mood board section, find the mood board you want to use. So maybe I want to go with this Lego mood board. I can hit the copy symbol to add it into my prompt, or I can just simply hit select and it will choose it from the drop down here. But I'm going to turn it off there and run with it from here. And again, we'll go with our samurai ready for battle, submit. And we have some very Lego-esque samurais ready for battle. And that should give you a few options to personalize Midjourney. You've got different levels of control and different types of control, going from that taste-based sort of personalization with the personalization tool to the style building tool where you're kind of picking the style that you want to create, or something with a bit more control where you're uploading the images themselves that you want to try and emulate when creating images in Midjourney. Also, don't forget to check out my Midjourney Style Pack if you're looking for more resources when you're trying to build your mood boards or improve your images. But otherwise, that is the video for today, guys. I hope you found it useful. If you did, please consider giving the video a like. Otherwise, hope to see you again soon. Have a great day, and thanks for watching.